back again with another episode of IMP UHC, starting off here with Dangers here on the surface, doing a little bit of mass cooking. Now this is the 4th episode, which means that the border is now moving, starting at 2000 by 2000, but moving quickly towards 400 by 400, squeezing all the teams together and moving them towards the conflict. Now this border is going to move at a speed of 1 block every 3 seconds, which means that you cannot dig away from it. If you dig straight ahead, you will be able to gain a little bit of a head start, but if you're digging up or down, you are going to be caught up to, so you need to have a way out. We have Team Green here, who's still working around underground. JT here trying to make a little bit of a cautious approach, staircasing down and blocking off his path to see if he can make his way down. Doesn't want to bother with the dark area down there, so he blocks it off. But just as he does, a creeper wanders up on him. He tries to take it on, but oh, it's not a good time to be on a dirt staircase, and another creeper manages to take JT out. The first death of this UHC. Sorry JT, it's a sad way to go, but this is how it ends. Raven, on the other hand, is now potentially in a little bit of a momentary panic, trying to get himself situated, while his teammate has just passed away, perhaps trying to find his way over there to see if he can secure some of the loot that JT had on him, or just managing to find his thoughts while he is alone now. On the yellow team, however, we're still down at the bottom of the world and collecting a little bit more resources. It looks like we are mostly gathering experience at the moment though, so they're probably trying to prepare for the combat, grinding a little bit of gravel and experience to enchant up their gear, maybe do some combining to get the best gear they possibly can. While we see Dangers here, now outfitted in his diamond chestplate. He certainly looks strong, but he is alone, which is not the best in a season where you can be a team. It looks like he has a little bit of an apple shortage, which doesn't exactly help when Pyro is running around burning down the forest. Living up to his name, Pyro, he has set the forest aflame. We do not approve of that, Pyro. It's not good for nature. He's trying to find himself a teammate, no doubt. Maybe trying to use the forest fire to catch someone's attention. However, Mr. Cave has moved his way down underground again, so it will not be him most likely that you're going to find. Hopping over to Team Teal, a monster has just managed to pass right by them, running down the water and luckily enough not attacking any of the guys. They look to be getting near the point where they can head to the surface, but they still need to get themselves enchanted. Hopping over to Pygon, we can see the Py has managed to find himself enough diamonds to make himself a diamond chestplate. He is in a good situation in regards to gear. Now he just needs to find himself a teammate, so he don't have to face down the coming battles all alone. And that's so he has someone to actually talk to in this battle, someone to share the strategy with, and someone to cover his back. Hopping over to Team Teal, we have headed to the surface, strangely enough, because they are yet to be enchanted. It is dangerous, but perhaps they are trying to make a break for another area to see if they can find more resources. It might just be that they haven't been able to find enough diamonds to actually give them enough to enchant, and have to find more in a different area in order to really get started. Over at Team Purple, we are still digging resources underground. Now we are enchanted here, so they might still be looking for a little bit of diamond before they really head out, but be careful guys, if you are anywhere near the border, you might want to start heading out soon, because that thing is going to start coming in. They're close together, but not quite close enough to cover each other's backs, and Jackarou needs to be careful here because monsters are incoming. And if he doesn't notice, this might be dangerous, but he does manage to sprint past the zombie, get himself to safety, but the zombie is following him, insistent on fighting. Jackarou takes him on though. However, just as he does, he hears the approaching baby zombie. However, luckily for him, it has taken some falling damage, and he manages to take it out in a single powerful sweep. Now hopping over to Mr. Cave here, we have found ourselves an abandoned mineshaft. Now be careful, Cave, you're not approaching it in quite as safe a manner as you might want, or at least is able to. But it doesn't look like the monsters have either noticed him or just doesn't want to fight him at this point. Lucky for Cave perhaps, managed to find himself a little bit of gold. Now if he can just find the apples to go along with it, he'll be in a good spot. And just there we have another death, Deepak dying and Mr. Pyro right after, red team having run in with one of the solo players and unfortunately losing half of their team, the weakest part of them. Deepak, who only had 4 hearts, went down quickly, but at least Ernbob managed to bring down Mr. Pyro, but this now leaves him alone and locked outside of a team. For the rest of this combat he's going to have to survive on his own, so there's no doubt in my mind that we'll see him take a little bit of a cautious approach, Ernbob known for trying to make these sneaky attacks and using the Minecraft mechanics to his benefit. Now hopping over to Mr. Cave here, we have a development because we have managed to find octagonal pole on the ground here, and those 2 players, both on teamed, can now form themselves a team. They are creating the Team Black. Now we are reaching the point where there is not quite enough players left. It's gonna be unlikely that the solo players are going to meet up at this point, but we might still see more teams forming. We'll have to wait and see as this game progresses. Team Purple on the other hand here is still making their way underground. They can't be far off from heading to the surface though. It looks like they might be meeting up, so hopefully we will see Team Purple join the combat very soon. Up on the surface though we have Dustin, who has found himself a little bit of a horse here and is now coursing over the landscape, perhaps trying to find himself a teammate or trying to find himself trouble. We'll have to see which of them he finds first. Hopping over to Team Yellow, we're still underground gathering a few resources, but can't be far off before they head to the surface either. They have had time to prepare themselves for a while now, so it won't be long. We can see them here preparing, grinding some gravel. They're definitely making ready. Over at Team Teal, we are still doing a little bit of cooking here. We have yet to be enchanted, but now we can at least confirm that they have themselves an enchanting table, so it won't be long before they are able to start getting themselves shiny and ready for combat. We'll be able to see this team soon joining the fray. Hopping over to Team Red again, we have Ernbob here all alone, making his way through the surface area. All alone, but at least he hasn't managed to find anyone yet to pose a threat to him, but we'll have to see how the battle progresses. He's known to be a little bit of a cautious but also aggressive player, definitely determined. He is one of the good PvPers, and you don't want to fight him in a bow duel because he is quite skilled at pinpointing you with those arrows. Now hopping over to Pie, we are back on the surface, and surprisingly here we see Pie very close to the border, which has now started moving, and it is moving fast. 1 block every 3 seconds. This thing, you can run from it, but you cannot dig from it. As long as you're on the surface, you are safe. But move underground and it's going to get very dangerous. Now hopping over to dangers, we're making a little bit of a pit stop in the spruce forest. No doubt he's still looking for a teammate, but it's starting to look doubtful whether or not we will see more meet up. Now we do know that we have at least 3 people, potentially 4 people on the surface looking for teammates at this point, so it might be that we're still seeing someone meet up. Dustin here riding around on his horse, trying to see if he can spot someone, using the speed of the horse to find someone, but unfortunately for him, he is not the lucky one, because we see MCs and Piegon here meeting up and forming the blue team. Now, these have both had plenty of time to prepare themselves, so there's no doubt that they are ready for combat. It wouldn't be surprising if we see them starting hunting next episode, which is not going to be good news for the last remaining solos. But we are going to have to wait until next episode to see what happens there, because this is how this one comes to an end. Many people have taken damage, 3 have died. We'll see how the game progresses in the next episode. See you then.